All right. Woo! So this is pretty exciting. Standing up here and I can't see anybody. Every contestant, don't worry, there's nothing to be nervous about because you can't see a single face. You can pretend you're at home and you're just talking to the room. That's what it looks like from here. I'm Mike McMullen. I'm president of the Chamber. The Chamber is very, very proud and happy to have been able to present to you the Carroll Biz Challenge. I think this is the 7th year in a row. And we do a lot of amazing community events. This is one of them that you might not even know is us, but I'm here to tell you it's us. And in a town of entrepreneurs, which this town has, we have 5 specific entrepreneurs here that are represented out of 24 who applied, and they are going to lay it on the line, and one of them is going to go home. Well, all of them are going to be winners because they're all being seen, and their business is going to grow. But one of them is going to go home with $5,000 in cash and over $20,000 in other things all together with the cash. So how about a round of applause for that? All the sponsors and everybody. So I normally don't kick this off, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wear my hat up here and I'm going to kick this off. What the hell? So it's my pleasure to introduce the 2 men that will take you through this evening. And they've been a major part of the Biz Challenge since the beginning. So I want to introduce to you our first MC. I believe this is year number 4 for Entrepreneur in Resident at McDaniel College, and also the owner of the Entrepreneur Store by Ibid, and just an absolutely wonderful guy, hockey fanatic, and one of your MCs, Mr. John Wheatman.
Thank you. 4 years. Does that mean I'm nearing the end of my first term?
Is this your first term?
Is that the way that works?
It could be. But the senior statesman, even though he's younger than you, this guy...
What'd you say, Mike?
The senior statement...
What was that other part?
Even though he's older than you. No, he's younger than you. Come on, he's younger than me. I have been very proud that some people have said, well, is that guy your son? I'm like, no, he's not my son, but if he were, I'd be a millionaire one day because he'd give me money. But I don't know how many years ago it was, but we went to Old Lorden's. We had a couple pints of beer, maybe even more. We had a cigar. And this young guy that I barely even knew pitched me on the idea of something called the Carroll Biz Challenge. And we did it, and I am happy to say I really believe this is our marquee event that we do. And it happened because I was able to listen to somebody that had a great idea. So back for 7 straight years of being the MC and the founder of the Carroll Biz Challenge, and possibly my son, Mr. Jason Stambaugh.
Knocking dead, guys. Love you guys.
My goodness gracious, it was nice to be introduced tonight. Normally it's like kind of breaking the ice. It's like always an awkward moment when the lights come up after that video because it's hard to follow that kind of energy. Let's give that video a round of applause. It gets me fired up. Fired up.
I found one thing, you get to a certain point in your intros and I start to feel like I'm auditioning people to give my eulogy. You can do better, Mike.
But talking about this being 7, I didn't really, until I read the program, I'd kind of forgotten what year we were on. They seem to kind of blend together. And there's lots of things in life that now make me start feeling like I'm getting older. Now, no, I'm not old, but still, the first time I'm a millennial, right? So I picked up Snapchat, and I was totally befuddled as to why anybody would use this tool. I'm like, what is going on? Why is my face on the screen already? It was a very unsettling experience. I'm like, I'm starting to feel a little old. And then I look in the mirror every year, and it's like my hair gets a little thinner, and then my hairline goes back, and maybe I don't even have a hairline yet or anymore. But now the Biz Challenge is telling me that I'm getting older. I was 26 when this thing started. But anyway, it's super excited for it to be back again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so to you guys out in the crowd, I think we have a record-breaking crowd. Let's give that a round of applause.
Absolutely. Looks like we have just about a full house.
And
Which,
so,
you know what that means? Buy your tickets early next year because you will be able to scalp them.
So to this record-breaking crowd we have here today, who, as Mike pointed out, I can't see because the lights are so bright, and to all of those folks who are tuning in online and on TV, thanks to the Community Media Center of Carroll County, let's give them a shout-out. To all of you all who are tuning in to be a part of this experience, we just sincerely thank you for joining us as we celebrate and support local entrepreneurs here in Carroll County tonight. Let's give all those entrepreneurs a round of applause.
So, in a house this size, everybody's special, but I think we have a few special people to recognize. And if I miss somebody, we'll come back to you. But I know for a fact that we have at least 3 former finalists in the audience, folks that have been on stage in this Carroll Biz Challenge. Elaine Taylor, the French Twist, where are you?
Yeah.
There she is.
The first People's Choice Award winner.
Yeah, yep. First ever audience choice, People's Choice. Ryan Herbsummer, you're here. Herbsummer, you're here. Where are you, Ryan? There he is.
This challenge number 4.
Excellent, excellent. Autumn Summer. And we have Drew Baker, who you'll see a little bit more of this evening, of Old Westminster Winery. Drew, where are you? Okay. Any finalists out there that I didn't happen to bump into? Anybody else here? Who we have?
Yeah,
There
Torch
you go.
Timber.
All right, excellent. Round
Let's
of
give
applause.
him a round of applause. He was right at the door. How did we forget
I know,
him?
we missed. Look like we have another one. There you go,
Yeah,
Derek
we're gonna
Graves.
meet you later,
Mr.
yeah.
Graves, thank you. Good to see you. All right, by show of hands, is there anybody in the audience that's been an applicant that went through the process that's applied to the Carroll Biz Challenge? All right, round of applause there too, please.
And so, last one I always like to check, because every year this is fun. So anyone in the crowd been here for all 7 Carroll Biz Challenge events? Look at those hands. There we go. Let's give that. Yeah. We have 7-timers. And I know Mike started out, and usually I sing his praises, and I guess I'll take a moment to do it again, because he's like my kind of surrogate dad or something, my other dad. But in all seriousness, the Chamber had a really big acknowledgement this year. In the Baltimore Business Journal, it was announced that the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce, and again, it's not a part of government, it's totally member-backed for its programs and events. The Carroll County Chamber is the 4th largest chamber in the state of Maryland. Let's give that a round of applause.
Big round for that.
And it's kind of funny, we're not in the 4th largest county, but I think, so you'd expect there to be some ratio there, but I really think that the success and growth of our chamber here in Carroll County can be largely attributed to Mike McMullen. He's been a visionary leader. Let's give Mike a round of applause.
He does an excellent job of choosing MCs.
He does. I tell you what, that's the thing.
Good skill to have.
Yeah. But also I think this speaks volumes to our local business community. I've had the pleasure of working with so many amazing business owners in Carroll County, and I think the fact that we have such an unprecedented number of business members of our Chamber of Commerce here speaks volumes to the fact that in Carroll County we care about more than profits, that we do care about supporting one another, and I think helping move one another forward. And the chamber is made up of over 600 members at this point. So let's give business owners in general, everybody's the audacity to do that, a big round of applause.
Yeah.
So, and I know that Mike has let a little bit of this success get to his head, maybe just a little bit. He's been blowing up Twitter like crazy the last couple of weeks. And, anyway, it's kind of embarrassing a little bit sometimes. But he's been blowing it up. And, but tonight we're playing around with the Twitter. For those of you who like to tweet, or to maybe the Facebook, you can use either one of those. And just message something, take a picture of your friend and put up hashtag Carroll Biz Challenge. And again, you'll join Mike. He's just been crazy on Twitter.
Yeah, he's off to a good start with the tweets tonight. So. Tweets from the president of the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce.
Anyway, so check those out on Twitter.
All right. Now, a couple more things to recognize here before we get into the meat of what we're doing. We talked about how large a chamber is. We talked about how full the house is. We talked about how this is the 7th year. And clearly, this doesn't happen without the help of the sponsors. And it's really been fun. I think it's been a pleasure to watch the number and depth of sponsors grow year after year after year. And I'm sure we have a high watermark this year. So without further ado, let's learn a little bit about our sponsors.
Thank you to all of the sponsors of the 2018 Carroll Biz Challenge. Our founding sponsors, 127 Creative, Carroll County Economic Development, Magic, Miller Resources for Entrepreneurs, Ting. Our platinum sponsors, Carroll Occupational Health, Community Media Center, Kenore Break, McDaniel College, Run More, Cone Creative. Our gold sponsors: BGE, Carroll County Public Library, The French Twist, Enter, Exit, Escape, The Entrepreneur Store by Ibid, Lehigh Cement, the Town of Mount Airy, NWSB Bank, the City of Westminster, Penguin Random House, RLH, the City of Tawnytown, Town Mall of Westminster, WTTR Radio. Our refreshment sponsors: Julianova's, Furnace Hills Coffee Company, and The Food Chick. Thanks again for supporting local entrepreneurship and innovation right here in Carroll County, Maryland.
Man, these suites are unbelievable, man. Can you
Yeah,
believe
Mike,
it?
what's your reach? Are you guys are watching this hashtag? Yeah.
This is insane
Yeah.
what's happening right now. People are really starting to respond, I think.
Steve, can you see this?
This is unbelievable. Can we get this up on the screen?
Can you do that?
We need some help. This is too good not to share. I mean, it's unbelievable, really.
I could.
Come on, how
let's
long does
see
it
if we can
take?
bring 'em up.
You're a tech guy. Let's do this.
We can just read.
There-
Look.
Oh, there it is. Holy
Look.
crap.
All right.
My God.
Imagine that. Real Donald Trump, huge event, biggest in all of Maryland, maybe even the USA. Hashtag Carroll Biz Challenge, hashtag make small business great again.
Whoa.
Hey, whoa,
Look at that reach. That is power.
phenomenal.
And man,
They're still coming through.
Juice, this one's really special.
Look.
This is one of my favorite people. That case set, LeBron James. LeBron the king, better than Michael Jordan says. that was the wrong crowd.
Yeah, now we
wrong
got
crowd.
controversy.
But hey, let's leave some room for this guy's tweet.
Controversy.
That hashtag Carroll Biz Challenge is so good that they ought to think about bringing their talents to LA. Love that. Love
All
that.
right. We're gonna have to watch these
Man,
tweets
it's like they're
as
all feeding
the
off on
evening
each other.
goes
There's
on.
even another one here that's got, man, we got to put that one up there.
Yeah. Oh, this one. Mark Cuban. The Carroll Biz Challenge is off the chain. I want to be a judge there next year.
That's a big
Judges-
deal. He's nasty,
judges-
so be glad he's not there this year. He's
Judges
nasty.
better be on their games tonight to hold their spots.
Well, we're going to have to keep watching this, John. I think that this is truly unbelievable. So, Mike, you're crushing it. Good job.
Yeah, all right.
He's now a social media consultant as well. He's doing great work. So aside from the unbelievable, unprecedented international attention this event is receiving tonight, we're here to watch 5 finalists. But this didn't happen overnight. This event has a few months run up where, as Mike mentioned at the opening of the show, that 24 folks had the courage to submit an application to this event. I want to give those 24 a big round of applause. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, and as someone who started my own several businesses and had lots of projects that I've launched, when you fill out these applications and you put yourself out there, you're really vulnerable because it's kind of like your baby, like this is your dream. And so these folks, when they submit this application, they're forced to think critically about the problem that their business is going to solve, the market that they're going to solve it for, and they have to really go into a lot of detail in terms of the products and services they're going to offer, and then the big question, how in the heck are you going to go from 0 to 60 and turn this idea into a profitable enterprise? And so that's an incredible challenge and achievement, so they all have to fill out that application. Once those applications are filled out, the people have to read them, and sometimes they're really long. John, how long would you say these things are? You were an advisory board member this year.
Yeah, it really gets into a lot of detail. It's multiple pages, and then you're getting into the finances behind it. And it becomes very, very difficult. The task involved in getting from 24 entries down into 5 finalists is phenomenal. I can tell you from experience, when you bring in 24 applications, there's probably a couple that you think right away, these got to be in. And then there's a few that you say, okay, they haven't really figured this out yet, or they haven't really finished it. It's not fully developed. But the hard part is, how do you cut it at 5? It's incredibly difficult. It's very hard work that the advisory board does.
Yep. And so I want to acknowledge those folks at this time. So if you're in the advisory board, I'm going to announce your name if you could stand, and then we'll do applause at the very end. We have Josh Ambrose from McDaniel College, Denise Beaver from Carroll County Department of Economic Development, Lisa Deggetz from Carroll Occupational Health, Patrick Garvey from Ting, Josh Cohn from Cohn Creative, Steve Lowe from 127 Creative, Tom Mazurski from Miller, Mike McMullen from the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce, Steve Moore from Run More, Sherry Taylor from the Community Media Center, Robert Wack from Magic, and Lisa Wood from Kenora Brake. Let's give our advisory board members a big round of applause.
Thank you, advisory board. Okay. Well, you cannot have a business pitch challenge without the judges. And I will say that, much like the advisory board, sitting here on stage and listening to the pitches, coming up with the questions to ask, is not an easy task. What becomes even much more difficult is when they leave the stage and they meet to decide on who the winner is going to be. An incredibly difficult task. Generally, there's not a tremendous difference between the finalists. They're all going to be excellent. They're all going to be very good. So we owe a lot to our judges. So I'm going to let the video say it better than I would.
Mike Gibble.
Mike Gibble is the CEO of Gibble Enterprises Holdings, a diversified holdings company and initial stage venture capital firm. Currently, GEH has 7 portfolio businesses ranging from self-serve beer tap technology, architecture, and real estate holdings.
Amy Wallace Gingling.
Amy has over 18 years of experience in strategic marketing, competitive intelligence, and consumer market research. She has aided Fortune 100 and 500 companies in sales development, change management, and executive decision-making. In 2010, Amy joined the Small Business Development Center as a business consultant serving small business ventures in the areas of money management and marketing. In 2013, Amy accepted the role as Regional Director, overseeing counseling and training services for Hartford, Cecil, and Carroll County.
Drew Baker.
At age 22, Drew planted the first 7,600 grapevines on his family's farm and set out with a big vision to put Maryland wine on the map. Today, Old Westminster Winery is ranked in the top 100 in America, employs 22 folks, and their wines are distributed in 10 states and growing. Drew believes the rolling hills of Maryland offer just the right mix of conditions to create remarkable wines.
Trish McLean.
Trish has 20 years experience in advertising and marketing in ways that disrupt the status quo. At Ting Internet, she leads all marketing efforts from the director's seat and often on the ground at any number of farmers markets, community events, pool parties, and so on. Trish also spearheads the nascent women's leadership efforts at Two Cows, Ting's parent company.
Please welcome to the stage the Carroll Biz Challenge judges.
Yes! How you guys feeling? I know we got a couple of veterans and a couple of noobs. How are you guys feeling about tonight?
Ready to go.
And so Mike and Amy, you guys have been here for a long time. What are you looking forward to tonight?
How long, Jason? How long have I been here?
Well, you've been here tonight for a few hours, but I haven't anyway. Yeah, so I think you guys have been judges for like 4 years now. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Looking forward to some new businesses and some new ideas. And what about you, Mike?
Well, I've been here 6 years, so you were wrong. And as always, I'm looking forward to the energy from the crowd, the energy from the pitchers, and just the innovation in their businesses. It's going to be a great time.
So for Trish and Drew, anything you're worried about? Anything?
I'm excited to be on this side of it. I pitched 2 years ago.
That's right. Yeah, that's more.
It's a different view, isn't it?
And I am first time here, so I'm quite curious to see the whole thing. I'm really excited.
Awesome.
And anybody worried about Mark Cuban?
I'm worried. I'm definitely worried this year.
He's got our attention on Twitter. He's right here. He's
That's
going to offer some
amazing.
thoughtful criticism, as he always does. But before we welcome our first finalists to the stage, just want to go over a couple of rules, just for everybody knows sort of how the program is going to work. So each finalist is going to take the stage, and they're going to have exactly 5 minutes, no more, no less, to pitch their business idea. And then they'll have up to 7 minutes of Q&A, where our competition judges will be grilling them and asking them questions. After everybody is pitched, the judges are going to recess and pick our record-breaking grand prize winner, who will receive a prize valued at $20,261. Yeah. And part of that, $5,000 of that is cash money, and the other $15,000 and some change is thanks to these amazing sponsors up here who've donated various in-kind offerings to make the grand prize winner, give them the best chance possible of success. But even though a lot of the action, or really all the action for that matter, happens up here on the stage here tonight, you guys out in the crowd have a super important role to play. And the number one thing that you guys got to help us do is some crowd control. Meaning that when we run out of time, whether it's a pitch or Q&A, you're going to watch John and I very politely and very collegially, as if we're clapping at a golf match
and without
or tournament.
mercy.
Yeah, and without mercy. We'll start clapping. And when you see us start clapping, you guys will clap. Let's go ahead and practice. There we go. And that's to let folks know that they've run out of time. And the second way you can interact tonight is that since you guys are so awesome for being here, we're going to give the audience the first question. And you're going to submit questions directly to me via text message. So even if you don't have a question, I do enjoy a good joke. And guys got to do something better than telling me my fly's down or something like that. That comes out of your, or that, hey, where's your hair? I've had that before too. But do text 301-514-3551 with your questions. And again, we'll give you guys first crack at a question for our finalists. And the third and final thing is you guys get to pick who wins the People's Choice Award, which is not only a huge victory for the person who wins it, but they get $1,500 in cash. And so at intermission, we'll put up the details for you guys to text your vote in for that. And my phone rang a little bit ago, and let me know we had another thing on the Biz Challenge here.
Yeah, Steve, you keeping track with these?
Yeah, we're going crazy. We had another one. The president again has come in and says, this is unbelievable. My advisors tell me there are at least 20,000 in the seats at the Carroll Biz Challenge. Another 1 million watching from home. Unbelievable. Gosh, he's always right. You know that? Always right.
Yeah. I got this is a dream come true for me. Alexander Ovechkin tweets, Carroll Biz Challenge is not going to be sucked this year. For my hockey people out there, you'll know it. It's really funny. For those of you that aren't hockey people, I'd be happy to explain it to you later.
And man, we got another one here from the president. This one kind of irks me a little bit. He says, I created the Carroll Biz Challenge. Yeah. Heck, he's even saying Shark Tank took the idea from the guy. Man, I'm just happy he's tuning in, I guess.
It's blowing up.
All publicity is good publicity, right?
It is.
Right.
In fact, Jason, the thought occurs to me that because this has become so big so fast,
out of control.
I kind of need to put my lawyer hat on for a minute. And we probably need to read a little disclaimer. With the attention it's getting,
this might take a minute.
No, it'll only take a moment. I'm sorry.
We can't afford to get sued.
But we have
the chamber
to,
doesn't have enough money to afford it. Yeah.
Let's see. It won't take long. I got my standard list of disclaimer file here. Carnivals, no. Charter boat trips, no. Skydiving, no. Jungle cruises, no. Biz challenges. Here we go. Biz challenge. All right. Stay with me. This competition is protected under the copyright laws of the United States and other countries throughout the world. Any unauthorized exhibition, distribution, or copying of this competition or any part thereof, including soundtrack, may result in civil liability and criminal prosecution. The tweets portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, is intended or should be inferred. Wait, who are we fooling? We wanted you to infer that the tweets are actual people, while also realizing it's ridiculous to think the celebrities would actually be tweeting about the Carroll Biz Challenge. No person or entity, real or fictitious, associated with this fake news, tweets, received payment, or anything of value or entered in any agreement in connection with this competition. No animals were harmed in the making of this Biz Challenge.
Man, I tell you what, John, you just stuck it to all those lawyers who are looking to take a cheap shot here in Carroll County, knock us off of our number 4 peg here.
Right. We are well protected.
Appreciate you protecting us, John.
Appreciate your patience with that, but it was a necessity. Okay. So after all that, guess what time it is? it is time for our first pitch. It is my great pleasure to introduce contestants number 1, certified. Welcome Justin Arter and Owen Long. The stage is yours.
Okay, guys, go ahead and stop that. I think that looked pretty good. Chris, next time maybe a little deeper on those compressions, but otherwise, Justin, I think we could pass them, don't you think?
I'd hope so. We just taught them 2 months ago.
That's true. I hope they haven't forgotten already. So every year, drowning is the second accidental cause of death in the United States. And to us, this is very concerning, and it should be to you as well. So we want to tell you why we're here today. Justin?
Sure. A few years ago, the American Red Cross took a hands-off approach to training. They've taken on a train-the-trainer model where they train individuals who then go out and teach the courses for them. But this has led to a gap in the training market. There are not enough people teaching lifeguarding, CPR, first aid, AED, whatever it may be. That's where Certified comes in. We are a licensed training provider of the American Red Cross. That means they trust us to teach their classes. How do we do that?
Well, of course we couldn't do it alone, and a lot of our helpers are actually here today. We've built a network of instructors to help teach these classes and get the certifications in the hands of those who successfully complete the classes. Our instructors have it made. We provide them with everything that they need to teach a class. So all they have to do is show up to the location. We provide their equipment, we provide their students, we provide their insurance, everything, and all they have to do is teach. These highly qualified individuals have helped us a lot. Now we're teaching a little bit differently. We're teaching using what is called the blended learning format. This was released by the American Red Cross and is considered to be the most modern and efficient trainings that there are on the market right now. These include online trainings before even coming to class, so we can ultimately decrease class time and maximize efficiency. Now our model's a little bit different, and so is the way that we make money. So Justin, tell us about how we do that.
We've taken on a per-student model where we know how much we charge each student for a course. We then know what expenses are incurred. Then we know what our profit per student is. And the beauty of this is that if we have a student in a class, we're going to make money. And this is not our only course. We set this up for lifeguarding, lifeguard review, babysitting, first aid, whatever it may be, we have it ready to go.
That's pretty true. And Justin, so this model's been questioned by some, and maybe they say it doesn't work, but does it?
I think the numbers kind of show it for themselves. In the past 4 months alone, we've grossed almost $52,000. Our expenses have added up to about $45,000. Now that includes things like legal fees, insurance, and one-time startup fees like equipment. And our profit ends up at about $7,000 in just 4 months. That's amazing.
Not bad for just starting up small business. Now, if we want to make money, like we said, we have to have instructors, but we also have to have places to teach these classes, right? So we've already developed those. We can check that box off, starting right here in Carroll County. We have actually developed these classes where we can pop up all across our training region, Carroll County included, and teach the classes, get the certifications in the hands of those who need them, and successfully complete the class, but also giving people an opportunity to advance in their careers and maybe even enter the workforce as a babysitter, a medical responder, or a lifeguard. Now, Justin, if someone wanted to find our classes, where would they go?
Well, there are two big ways. First, we can thank the American Red Cross. Thanks to the American Red Cross, we're allowed to post all of our courses on their website. So all you have to do is log on to American Red Cross, take a class, type in your zip code, and see all of our courses listed with dates, times, and locations. Or we can thank Advantage Internet Marketing. They built this awesome website, www.certified.me for us. There you can also find our classes with a way to sign up, too.
And thanks again to Advantage Internet Marketing. John and your crew, you're awesome, because you've built for us a website where we can post all of our classes, links to sign up, their locations, who's teaching them, and you even built us a page to brag about our instructors with their instructor bios. Now, where do we go from here? Why do we need the prize money, right? This is the perfect time for prize money and startup capital, additional startup capital for Certified, because we're ready to expand. The Red Cross provides us with a variety of markets that we have yet to tap into, and it's time to do so, such as basic life support, first aid classes, emergency medical responder courses, lay responders, everything that you may need, we're ready to tap into, and we're certified to do so. Starting right here in Carroll County, we want to enter the corporate market so we can train and teach everyone in need to save lives at the Carroll Hospital, the Board of Education, fire departments, etc. But we want you to take one thing away from today and keep it in mind. Remember to be safe,
Be smart.
be certified.
Thank you, certified.
And they finished early. That was amazing.
It did, yeah.
So we got a humdinger of a first question, John. Why don't you take it?
Oh, I get this one, okay.
You get this one.
All right, first question for the contestants. There are only so many people who need American Red Cross training. So how do you look to scale the business in the future?
Yeah, so, is my mic on? Okay, so the American Red Cross definitely doesn't apply to everybody, right? But there are a lot of jobs. So if you think about it, to ride on the back of an ambulance, you must have a basic life support certification. American Red Cross offers that. To work in a hospital or a nursing home, you must be CPR certified. To work in the schools, you must be CPR certified. To work at your county pool, lifeguards. And these are where these corporations actually reach out to us because there aren't enough people to teach it, and there are those people in need of certifications. It's rare that we have to go looking for people in need of the cert.
Okay. Thank you. Judges, the floor is yours.
I'll start. That was a fantastic pitch. Very well done. Sort of two categories of questions that came to my mind immediately, sort of related to the creativity of the idea. I'm wondering, are there other businesses in this space?
Sure, I'll shoot at that. There are other businesses in this space, but we've kind of flipped them out a little bit. Those are usually brick and mortar. You go to them, you get your training. We've taken it a little bit differently. We are a pop-up business and we go to them. So we've kind of made it easier for these different corporations or businesses, whoever needs us. We provide them the training where they want it. So we kind of made that a little bit easier for them and makes us a little bit different.
Additionally, in the field of aquatics, supervising is kind of your main job, and programming is secondary to that. So we've actually done all of that programming work for them, but they're still able to offer the classes. Additionally, actually, I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Good, yeah. The other question I had, where did you get the idea?
So I went to Justin. We are fraternity brothers, and I went to him with this idea. We both realized we're certified lifeguard instructors. I've been teaching in Red Cross for quite some time, and we looked at each other and we said, let's do it. And thank you to one of our very generous fraternity brothers and my parents. We were able to get the startup capital necessary to begin the business.
Okay, so besides being a pop-up and a little bit more convenient, is there other competitive advantages? Is there cost associated with your advantage? What other advantages do you have besides just being a pop-up and being a little bit more convenient?
Yeah, sure. So we, like I said, the Red Cross designates who can teach in what area, right? So we're the only pop-up business in this training region. So we can go to them, the outdoor pools opening season, we can provide the staffing. Our price is right now the lowest on the market. We don't differentiate ourselves by price, but we do differentiate ourselves by efficiency. A lot of classes are still being taught, since they are brick and mortar. As you come, you learn all of the coursework online. It's about a 29-hour class. Our class is 21 hours, so we are cutting down the in-class time, allowing you to go online and complete before you get there to decrease the time that you're going to be there in a weekend. We also complete the class in 3 consecutive days, a Friday evening, a Saturday, and a Sunday to fit the busy schedule.
And that's for lifeguarding. We also have CPR, first aid, and whatnot. That fits a similar mold, just a lot shorter courses.
Okay.
So are you saying that you're making $2 an hour profit on each person attending? Is that right, the math? If you're doing 21 hours?
It does depend. I mean, looking at that, we have a certain requirement for number of students in the class, so we are making more profit than that. And that's after we paid everybody and paid the Red Cross our fees and everything. So that is after everyone's been paid, including us.
How are your employees trained? So they are, just to go back to that, I'm assuming they're 1099 employees, and
Yes.
Are you concerned with the fact that they, like, how easy is it for them to enter the market also to be your next competitor?
Yeah, so I can speak on that. I developed my licensed training providership with the Red Cross about 4 years ago. And we actually, when you come on 1099 for us, you sign a non-compete agreement. Additionally, we have been very lucky. The Red Cross identified us and has connected us with them and the representative for Maryland, and we are able to train our own instructors. So I actually am an instructor trainer for the Red Cross in all disciplines and can teach in-house. So there's no need for us to send them outside to get additional certifications.
Very good.
Is the Red Cross the only certification accepted from the aquatic standpoint, or are there other certifications that If I show up and want to be a lifeguard, I'm not Red Cross certified, but I'm this certified.
Yeah, so there's an international certification, which is ELIS, which is used more commonly overseas. There's a Boy Scout lifeguard, which is solely in the Boy Scout organization. And then there is some additional companies that have started up. None have really launched. And the biggest thing with the Red Cross is they're the only ones that actually allow their offerings to go public. So they're the only ones that you can post on the official website of the American Red Cross or the hosting organization.
Okay, so another question, why is no one else doing this right now? I mean, are there other, I mean, we kind of talked about competitors a little bit, but why is there a shortage of trainers? Did you talk about that at all?
Sure. Right at the beginning, I kind of explained how the Red Cross has changed their model. People have not kept up with it. They switched from them having the people who teach, they have the instructors, they pay them themselves. They switched to this LTP model or licensed training providership model. People have not kept up with it and have not gotten their instructor license or whatever it may be to continue to teach. So now there's a lack of it because the Red Cross isn't doing it directly.
Okay.
And I just want to emphasize that the Red Cross actually kind of helps keep us from having competitors where they actually identify how many they're granting in any specific area. So it's not an overcrowding of the market. You commit to a certain amount for them and are able to teach accordingly.
How big is your market? How big, so the American Red Cross has designated your market. How big is that market?
So we're designated right now, we operate under Central Pennsylvania, all of Maryland, and Delaware is where
we're
we're
no competition in any of those regions.
So reasonable competition. They're allowed to have other people as long as their training needs are met, but if we are filling their training needs, there's no need to grant additional.
Do they restrict you from expanding?
No, they've actually offered for us to increase our size as we continue to grow. So there is the hope that
Beyond your region?
Beyond where we are now, even further up north of Pennsylvania, down to Virginia. So they have talked to us about future expansion.
What about nationally?
So if we decide to do so, we have to go on with their representative for that area, and it is per approval of expansion into that region if there is a need. So we have talked to our Pennsylvania rep who is in contact with the northern Pennsylvania rep. There's a need up there. They've granted us the ability to expand up to that area. We're in contact with Penn State Altoona right now of expanding up there, but it is per need and granted access to those areas.
So I'll just make a final comment real quick before you probably make one. I just want to say that I think I've been doing this for a while now. You guys are really prepared.
Thank you.
Really prepared.
Thank you.
Great. So I just want to give you
That's a great note to end on.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
certified. Round
Thank you,
of
everybody.
applause. Thank you very much.
So back in late 2014, we kind of looked at each other and we thought, you know, there's probably nothing we can't create or communicate together. So we started 127 Creative.
We found out we were pretty good at understanding an industry, and then understanding what makes a person or a company or a product or service within that industry unique, and then communicating that uniqueness to the world.
And we do it in any way we can think of, with imagination, beauty, innovation, and with any kind of media.
So Kim is probably the best graphic designer that I know. She's been using Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop since they were invented, and she's a phenomenal photographer. McCabe is insanely creative. He welds, he melds, he blows things up. He just has this innate ability to design and fabricate just about anything.
So whether you want something created or communicated, we want you to call us.
Yeah, if it needs to be seen, heard, tasted, or experienced, that's what we do.
Let's give 127 Creative a round of applause. So it's actually incredible, John. I thought we'd peter off after that initial burst of international interest, but it just continues.
Not hardly.
I mean, here's another big one that just came up, and they're watching live right now from David Hasselhoff. He says, "Wow! Hashtag Carroll Biz Challenge. When certified is ready for the big time, call me. I'll help you. Your training plus this body equals Baywatch success." Hashtag the Hoff is hot. Hashtag famous best lifeguard ever. Unbelievable. Man, we've got a great crowd tonight. So this brings us to our second presenter tonight. We have Mildred Rodman and Kate Rodman presenting Growing Ideas Sustainable Gardening. Let's welcome them to the stage.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. My name is Mildred Rodman. My company is Growing Ideas Sustainable Gardening, and this is my team. Kate, my daughter, I was lucky enough to have a great graphic designer in the family, so she did all my branding, my cards, my labels, my packaging, my presentation points. My son is a chemical engineer. He helped me with the original recipes for my potting mix that I make, and the equipment that I use, and the idea of making a business is his fault. And Cheryl is my friend who is an amazing gardener, and she's tried all my products, and she helps me with my vendor sales, so I will give her a free potting mix. And oh, by the way, I make a potting mix. I make it out of all upcycled materials from the plant waste stream. There's a few things we dig out of the earth, but there are better things to use these days, and it all started when my daughter needed some potting soil. She was moving out to an apartment. She wanted to purchase some house plants so she could improve her indoor living air conditioning. There is a lot of plants these days that you can buy for your house that will clean the air so you have a better indoor air quality, and she wanted those for her new apartment that had new paint, new carpet. People that moved to apartments, people in the city, people that she wanted to grow some herbs, and she wanted to put some plants on her balcony and maybe even grow some food. And we were looking for potting soil and just really couldn't find anything we wanted to even touch. There was meat meal and poultry litter and feather meal, and she's a vegetarian, and chemicals, and I've been a master gardener over 18 years. I've gardened even longer than that, and I said, I think I can do better. And we did a lot of research, and we came up with just a whole new way to make potting soil instead of digging it out of the earth. We have, its substrate is coconut, the little powder that comes off the outside of the coconut, the dust, the pith, the core. And it makes a better substrate than the peat. We've been using peat moss for 200 years. They come from northern wetlands, and we dig it out of the bogs, and we know not to do that anymore. There must be something else. Well, this is a waste product that we can use instead. It works better than peat. It's pH neutral. It holds the water better. You use less water to water your plants with, less runoff, just all kinds of good reasons. And the rice hulls, that actually come from Arkansas in big bales, and we use that instead of perlite. You know the little styrofoam-looking balls that are in potting soil? That's a mined product that they truck and cook in a furnace over 1,000 degrees so they can pop it like popcorn, so you can have little air pellets and styrofoam-looking things in your potting soil. Let's just use rice hulls. It's mostly potassium. It's so much better for your plants. And there's some other ingredients that I use. I have earthworm castings I buy wholesale from Boonesboro, Maryland. They grow them organically. I have neem seed meal. It's a plant-based waste product. When the seeds are done, they have insecticidal and fungicidal properties, other nitrogen sources too. So there are rock dust that's dug out of the earth. I did watch a YouTube video. They do make their own rock dust. I'm working on that. I can't do that quite yet. And I put it all in compostable packaging. That is a little bit of plastic made from corn. It's all decomposable, and I use post-consumer recycled paper. And then I have 6 different mixes. I have houseplant, I have succulent, cactus, veggie mix, and African violet, and I make a tea bag that you can make some liquid out of. And I use all these things to make my a better potting soil. People try it because it sounded like a good idea, and it actually works better than what we've been using all along. Okay, I've started 17 months ago. I've sold over 230 bags, about 100 online, and about 130 in person. And I've shipped them to over 26 states, and it just keeps getting bigger. And I needed to be here to get bigger and better, and to really scale up my supply. So my succulent soil is my best seller, and it's ready to go on a shelf. So I need your help to do that. Thank you so much again. This is just amazing just to be here. It's so cool.
Awesome. Great job. This is incredible that we're, at this point in the game, and we have two people who finished on time. I didn't have to be rude, so I love that. So we do have the first question from the audience. I think this is a great one. So how is pricing compared to competitors? And do you find that, depending on your price point, how has that helped you with your market? So I guess talk about your price point a bit.
Right. My succulent soil is my best seller because it is comparable to what you can buy in the stores right now. So 1 gallon is $9.95. It cost me less than $3 to put it in a bag. And so my profit margins for all my mixes right now run about 60 to 70%. Some of my houseplant and my veggie mix have more expensive ingredients, so the last thing I'm missing is actually a better wholesale for my coconut. And as soon as I can buy more, I will scale up that, and maybe I can fix some of those retail prices.
Judges?
How much, do you have any sense of, from a nutritional standpoint, how much better this is than what we buy in the stores? Why it's better? Like we were saying, when you buy and you go buy, I don't know if anybody's seen other varieties, how many people turn over their bag and read the ingredients in a potting soil? It's just really important, if you get nothing else out of this, that you want to do that, to see what people are throwing in. Even the organic now, there's meat meal. I don't want to know what that is. There's poultry litter and feather meal, and my stuff is kelp meal and non-GMO'd soybean meal and plant sources for the nitrogen. The earthworm castings, all natural organic, certified organic.
There's a big market for that. People want that.
There is a big market for no chemicals. There is not any chemicals in what I have. So peat can resist. Has anybody had any potting soil that you can't water the plant? For some reason it forms a crust and it's hard and the water won't go in. That's because peat is actually really water resistant. And so they put a chemical wetting agent on some of the peat so it will take in that water. And once it's gone, or if it didn't have any to start with, it's very difficult to re-wet. Coconut doesn't do that. It stays nice and loose and the roots get huge, and it's just better all over quality plant.
Oh, yes.
She's my tester. She doesn't let anything go by that isn't just so much better.
My favorite story is I have always envied these little blue flowers. Of course, now I know what they are, but I'll say little blue flowers. And I've never been able to grow them, and people I see get them, and they look great when you bring them home and plant them. And then, another month goes by and they look like, they've all died, or they look like these little strings of straw sticking out. When I started testing some of Millie's soil, first thing I planted was my little blue flowers. And I thought, okay, let's see how these do. Well, I started them in May, and I kept them all the way until first frost, and they looked as beautiful as the day I planted them. And they just got bigger and more flowers, and I was just delighted. So I can really testify it works.
My veggie soil was my newest this year, and I grew tomatoes. I mean, don't you want to eat tomatoes that have been planted in things that you know what they are? You know that you can pronounce, that you know exactly what it is. And all my, I've made sure that all my ingredients are OMRI and certified and organic and chemical free. Right here in Boonesboro, Maryland, we have I get all my castings wholesale, and they have a certified farm that they get them from there, so I make sure.
So, a question for you. What is your biggest challenge right now? as a business owner?
I put them in the bag myself. So I have, my problem is limited space on the amount of supply I can take in and the amount of supply I can purchase. So when I bought my wholesale worm castings, I had to take a minimum size number of bags, and that's why I'm saying my succulent soil is ready to go. We can bag ourselves, get it going on the shelves, and if I can use that supply and get the bigger supply and have a market for that supply, then I can really scale up some of these things. But you know how it's supply versus where is it going to go?
Have you done the research on who your market actually is? I mean, I love this stuff. I'm a gardener. I'm a green person. I get it. But
Well,
I wonder when people look at the prices, and I know that you said some are
Right.
very comparable, you know, who is your market?
Right.
Like, do you-
That's why we've been doing vendor sales for the last 12 months. We've been in the Mount Airy Farmers Market. We've gone to Earth Day. And we do a tent because we want to know what people think about things. And when they stop and they want to know, it's so cool that you can tell them all this. And they're like, I had absolutely no idea any of that was going on. And they become a client because they didn't know that they should be thinking about their potting soil. Maybe they have an office and they want to put, you know, they've seen the offices change from, does anybody have an office that has dust all over their plastic plants? I mean, that's not doing anything for anybody. I mean, it looks like a fake plant, but this is a beautiful live plant that's cleaning the VOCs out of my air in my office. And people just, once they are aware of that, just about anybody, you don't have to be a gardener to need this. Maybe you want to grow some food that you know what it's growing in.
So I have a quick question. First of all, thank you for this green innovation. I really appreciate it. Do you have any, I guess a two-part question. Do you have competition? And I'm curious, is there anything about your mix that could be patented?
There is. I call it my secret sauce. But I'm also a master gardener at heart, so I try to talk to people about what they can do, but I do have a few ingredients thrown under rock, dust, and sands that are kind of mine. And it's something that I've thought about, and going forward, I have to think more about, that's for sure.
Just in listening to your pitch, I really love what you guys were doing. That just struck me as something that would be really interesting here. If you could patent something about this mix, then that would be something that could be potentially marketable.
Right.
Because I'm sure that shelf space in Home Depot in
Right.
the potting soil section is particularly competitive.
It is. My smaller bags are actually quite comparable price-wise, and with the 60 to 70% profit margin right now, if I can get a better coconut supplier, I can get that even better. So that's a supply issue. But right now, I have to say, my succulent soil, you cannot buy that succulent soil anywhere else. It is better than anything that you can buy, and
Thanks, guys. Great job.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
The Carroll County Business and Employment Resource Center is your local connection for all of your employment and training needs. We provide complimentary recruitment, retraining, and retention programs to help build your workforce. Burke helps you find the most qualified employees by posting jobs at our center and online, identifying the right candidate for your position, offering skills training, and hosting on-site job fairs. We make connections that work. Contact us today.
All right. Very good. Suddenly got very busy up here.
I know.
Look at that. Hey, Steve, did you see that last one come through?
Because I'm blown away. But I mean, this one's one of my favorite people from history.
Yeah. Al Gore.
Wow.
Thank you for highlighting such an important step like sustainable gardening, which
Fair and
I
balanced.
invented.
Fair and balanced.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. We're all over the place with this now.
Man.
Okay. All right, I am ready to announce our third contestant already. Welcome, Ms. Janet Paulson and helper from Floral Fets.
Good evening. We are Floral Fets, and we are located on Main Street in Tawnytown. According to goodfinancialsense.com, a great idea for a small town business is a flower shop. But we all need to support small businesses on main streets. We had our grand opening celebration on June 14th. The mayor came and cut the ribbon. We were overwhelmed with the community coming out and the business support, and people came up to us and said, "Wow, this is so exciting. There hasn't been this much energy on Main Street for a very long time." We feel we are on a good path for financial success. We're the only flower shop in Tawnytown. In our shop, we offer unique gifts that are made in the United States. Plus, we try to get locally sourced plants and flowers. My assistant, Mr. Matthew, is going to be handing out flowers that were grown on a flower farm in Tawnytown. Mr. Matthew, would you please show everyone your beautiful bow tie? Victoria Clausen is the owner and visionary of Floral Fets. She has over 20 years' experience in the floral business. By the way, her sons are Matthew and Ben out there. Who is that up there? Oh, yeah, that's me. I bring to the table a lot of experience in marketing, in operations, and in event planning. Since our grand opening, there has been 4 new businesses that have opened on Main Street in Tawnytown. One of them is a dog grooming salon, and my little baby, Peanut, who's a 3-pound Yorkie, is a customer. And doesn't she look marvelous? Now, Floral Fets needs to take in $12,000 a month. Remember in the beginning, I said we're more than just a flower shop. How are we going to do this? Well, here it is. 35% of our business is in celebrations. By the way, the name Fete means celebration. 25% of the business is in our commercial contracts and subscriptions. This includes maintenance, holiday decorating, and something we're very excited about. It's called a living wall. We go in and we do installations in lobbies or common space areas. What we're creating is an art display made out of plants, and then we go back and maintain it. 18% is our retail sales at our shop, but also online. 12% is the funeral business. 10% is our workshops that we run throughout the community and in-house. One of the problems we face is how do we bring people to our main street? We think we've solved this problem a little bit because we are offering to local artists a display area in our shop, and we give them an opening night reception. Plus, we like to invite a few pop-up businesses to come, so when people come, they get a whole sense of an experience of our beautiful Main Street. Other ways we do things is that we're consulting to our small business neighbors and promoting Tawnytown. Plus, we are actively working with our town officials, the Chamber of Commerce, and we sit on many committees. We are committed to Tawnytown. Victoria has bought a property around the corner on Frederick Street. We are developing that into a new event space, a new event project. It's going to be called the Tannery Barn. It's currently in development, and we're hoping it will be open this fall. If we win the Carroll Biz Challenge, we hope to use the monies towards sending some of our employees to the Carroll County Community College to take classes in floral design. We also have to get them trained in our computer system because it's pretty complicated. It's inventory and point of sale. Plus, other ways we would like to use the money is also to continue with those artist receptions and other community events. Also, we want to keep our and collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you, Floral Fets. Which one?
A lot of great questions this time.
Hard to choose.
A lot of great questions. I'll let you pick, John.
Okay,
I can't pick too many.
Let me pick one.
Good job asking questions, guys. I'm stumped. There's like a lot of humdingers.
All right. Do you ever plan on expanding beyond Tawnytown?
Who knows what the future holds? We never say never. Right now, we've just started in June, but of course, the sky's the limit. I never say never.
Okay. Thank you. Judges, all yours.
So I'm curious, you had mentioned you need $12,000 a month. Why?
Well, that's to pay the rent, to pay our employees, to pay the insurance. It just goes for all of our expenses.
So how is that going so far?
Right now, if you notice when I had the chart up, it's a little slow in the summer. You know, the floral industry has its ups and downs, but we're doing okay. I mean, we're projecting that we will do fine. But right now, like I said, in the summer months, it's always slow in the floral industry.
In the floral industry,
yes,
what's the cost of goods sold structure?
Well, you have to understand, we have about a 50 to 75% markup because there's a lot of labor involved. Remember what I said, I wanted to have training for our employees because a person coming to work at our store, they have to have a certain sort of skill level. You just can't just pick up some flowers and put them in a vase, right? That's an art form to arrange flowers. So there is a lot of labor involved.
Where are you purchasing your products?
We try as often as possible. As I said, Tierra Blooms is a local flower farm in Tawnytown, so we do support them. But we buy flowers from many resources. Sometimes it depends on the season.
The projections you had in terms of percentages coming from different sources of revenue.
Yes.
What are those based on?
This is how we base it on many years of experience, and we realize things like weddings, those are our bigger volume of business coming in. Obviously, we make a lot more money on something like that.
So first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Tawnytown for
Thank
making
you.
their community so attractive in their downtown area to be able to attract businesses like yours. So a couple questions that I have. Love flowers, big fan. First of all, what is your biggest challenge right now?
Well, I think, as I said, from being a brick and mortar store is getting people to come to Main Street in Tawnytown. That's our biggest hurdle right now.
So that goes back to your marketing strategy. I understand that you said that you're going to different events. You through the chamber, through other things. Is there anything else from an online standpoint that you're planning on doing?
Well, we have a lot of social media, and I think one of the areas too is our internet sales. Because what we do is we have a lot of AdWords. We're actually putting in a lot of zip codes for delivery because we can go over into Adams County, like into Pennsylvania, Frederick County, Carroll County, also even Baltimore County we deliver to. So that's a big market for us. And I think it's nice to think about too that, there are big conglomerates out there who, deliver flowers. But I'd like to share a personal story with you. I have a friend in California, and I knew she was having an anniversary party at a restaurant. So I called up, through a zip code or the area she lived, but I was able to talk to somebody. I was able to explain what type of flowers I wanted, and they delivered them to the restaurant. You can't do that with 800 numbers, right? That's that personal touch that we are proud of that we have in our store.
So I know you have Antrim right down the road.
Yes.
Big wedding venue.
Oh, yes.
How are you working with them to try to market your products?
Well, I just don't want to drop anything right now, but tomorrow I'm having coffee with one of the owners. Yes, actually, we are going to be collaborating on an event this fall and in the spring. So yes, we are very much in connection
and from
with them.
a wedding standpoint, I know one wedding could just eat up your $12,000 without a problem. So what are you looking, how are you working with wedding venues, just in general? Like people who are looking to get married, are you working the knot, Pinterest, things like that?
I was at her wedding, so that's very true.
Right now, some of those sites cost a lot of money to go on. But what we have found, because Victoria and I have been in the business a long time, that word of mouth, social media, doing some types of bridal events, those are the ways we get the word out. And we've actually been doing pretty well. And also, like you said, Antrim, they're recommending us. I've gone out to venues, and you gotta tramp the pavement there a little bit and go introduce yourself and give out your business cards and show them our beautiful websites.
Do you have much competition?
Competition. Not in Tawny Town. We're the only florist. But yeah, I mean, there's some other flower shops around, but we feel that we do everything just a little bit better. And I think, like I said, we use locally resourced products when we can. We also have the gift shop inside of our shop, and we pride ourselves on the fact that those things are American made. So we're all about Main Street, and we're all about the community, and that's pretty much what
Are
we
you
do. But
seeing
go ahead.
repeat customers based on that sort of local personal touch?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was reading on our Facebook that people were saying, wow, we had to unfortunately it was for a funeral, but they were so impressed on what we had done that, that's that constant thing on Facebook, and we also send out a beautiful email blast, and people respond back to that. But, we have to be fresh, and we always have to be changing our website and putting new pictures and tweeting out. And as a matter of fact, we were Facebook Live a few minutes ago before we started, so.
Good job.
So I have to say, our questions here for the judges are getting more and more difficult because everyone is so well prepared this year.
Really?
Right?
Thank
No,
you.
I know.
I was pretty nervous.
I have to say that it's getting more and more difficult. So, audience, is there another audience question?
What you got, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I think that honestly, you have piecemeal by piecemeal answered pretty much all of the questions that the audience has asked through through the Q&A.
I do have another question now looking at your living wall. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how you're working with corporations?
Oh yes, that's a great, because we're very excited about the living wall. What that involves is actually a designer to go in and to look at the space. Obviously, the company would have to say, oh, in the lobby. And then a lot of measurements are taken. And then we also have to work on what types of plants they would like, also what type of maintenance agreement they would like. And it's really fun for the person who even created this little thing tonight, because they want to put the colors in the right way. It's an artistic display. It's like having a living painting on your wall.
All right. Thank you, Floral Fit.
Magic's vision is to make our community a hub of tech innovation and entrepreneurship. I am here to welcome you to the second annual Carroll County Hackathon. So you're here today to learn how to design, build, and pitch an application. Our mission is one of economic development. Here on Main Street, we need more startups and entrepreneurs to help us create jobs and rapid growth companies.
Good afternoon and welcome to Magic's 5th Capture the Flag Ethical Hacking Cybersecurity Competition.
Magic's innovative programs, we are working to attract, develop, and support aspiring tech entrepreneurs to help us meet our mission of turning the Westminster Fiber Network into new jobs, new companies, and new investments in our community.
Let's give Magic a round of applause. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been tracking these tweets, but we've been getting a lot of really positive people tracking with us, but people went dark on this next one. We got to get this next tweet up here. Martha Stewart came out of the woodwork on this one, and she says, Janet and Victoria have real talent, but if they think they can overtake my empire, they've got another thing coming. Hashtag, don't mess with Martha. Man, that is nasty. She's coming after us.
I don't know that was called for.
All right, we're on to our fourth pitch of the evening. We are about to hear from Daniel and Joan Smith from It's All Good Catering. Let's welcome them to the stage.
Welcome.
Hello and good evening. We are It's All Good. We are a husband and wife dream team. I'm the chef part of the team, and this is my beautiful wife, the dietitian. We would like to thank the chamber, the sponsor, judges, and the audience for being here tonight. We're asking for $20,000 in cash and prizes to help our business provide wholesome home-cooked meals for the residents of Carroll County. I grew up here in Westminster. In fact, I have fond memories of this very building. I saw Star Wars here play in 1978.
We started It's All Good to provide chef-inspired, dietitian-approved cuisine at festivals, breweries, and for private events throughout Carroll and the surrounding area. It's All Good serves home-cooked meals from our food truck using fresh ingredients. We are planning to expand our business to offer ready-made home-cooked meals to go that can be picked up at convenient and strategic locations throughout the county or delivered directly to your door.
People ask me if I'm starting a business. I say no, we're starting a revolution of providing real mealtime choices instead of prepared meals and extensive meal kits. Our offerings will save you both time and money. Our target markets are busy moms and dads, seniors aging in place or living alone, and commuters. Just imagine how nice it would be to be able to purchase a home-cooked meal for your family on a regular basis instead of relying on convenience food.
Take a moment and picture what a healthy meal looks like to you. What do you see? Do you see lean protein, whole grains, lots of vegetables? Now, think about where that meal came from. How much did it cost? Did you spend hours shopping for ingredients, preparing it? Or was it from one of those nationwide home-delivered meal chains that promise a 20-minute preparation time that really it takes you 40 minutes, right? Let us do the planning, purchasing, and cooking for you, and you can reap the benefits. I moved to Eldersburg in 1988. My kids and I traveled the county for sports and other activities. We knew our favorite spots for a quick meal on the go. It wasn't very healthy, and it wasn't cheap. I sure wish I had more mealtime options back then. Let's face it, meals featuring fried food and lacking vegetables are feeding the obesity crisis in our youth and families. As a dietitian nutritionist, I'm thrilled to partner with my rock star chef husband to create food that tastes good.
Combined with over 50 years of experience working with seniors, we know how difficult it is for seniors to eat healthy. Many live alone and rely on TV dinners. More and more seniors are aging in place. Wouldn't it be nice to know your mom and dad are eating well? We'll provide a better mealtime option. We also hope to provide home-cooked meals which are easy accessible for commuters to purchase on their way home. And we have locations that are already interested in while working for a worldwide corporation, I pioneered a program called Food with Thought and won a National Best Practice Award. The program featured a cooking demo, fresh ingredients, and home instructions, and a meal to take home. Seeing a need in the market, it was then I decided to start my own business and become self-employed. We have personally invested $25,000 into our business. A little over a year ago, we bought a retired mail truck and designed and built a mobile kitchen that will provide a variety of meal options effectively and efficiently. Our sales currently average $4,000 a month. We plan to use the cash we win today to double our revenue to $100,000 in sales. The first project is to wrap our truck so we can be a rolling billboard. Our vision is to grow our company over the next 5 years and build more food trucks and delivery vans and expand with 10 employees to $500,000 in sales.
Good food, good times. It's All Good combines our talents to create delicious meals that will fit into a healthy lifestyle. Being the Carroll Biz Challenge 2018 winners will help us with our mission. We hope to see you all out on the road. Our assistants will now be serving a sample of some of our menu offerings to the judges. We'd like to thank all of our friends and family, who many are here in the audience today. Thank you so much. We love you. Thank you for helping us over the past year.
Wow, so the audience has absolutely been blowing it up. There's like, I don't know, 60 questions for this one, and only like one of them is a joke, which is kind of disappointing for me. I think if I were to capture the essence of a lot of questions I think people have, is like, what types of meals and ingredients are you selling off the food truck versus what are you boxing up? Just talk a bit about your kind of, I guess, your product offerings that you might offer out of the truck and that you might box up and sell, local food, non-GMO. Just speak to that a little bit.
Well, it's not necessarily we're outsourcing local food. We're actually just insourcing fresh ingredients. Sometimes supply and demand, is hard to get local fresh all the time. So we are getting fresh food, not necessarily local. Some of our offerings are actually our strawberry field salad, which is awesome.
Which is in your kits there.
Which is in your
That's
kits.
what we're eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. So we try to have a balance right now from the food truck of foods that are good for you and foods that are comfort foods. So it runs the gamut.
For instance, we actually don't have a deep fryer, and we actually serve baked blue wings. So yeah, they're wings, but they're not fried. They're baked in the oven, and then we actually have an air fryer to get them nice and crisp. And we actually bake the blue cheese and sauce right into them.
So your main source of revenue right now is basically through the food truck. You make
Correct.
everything in the food truck.
Correct.
So you provide food to the adult communities, or how do the people find you? Is it where you're parked, or is it an online presence? What is your marketing?
Right.
now?
So right now we are just at wineries and breweries and people that are entertaining us to come.
Scheduled events.
Scheduled events.
Throughout
Yes.
the
So
county.
we do have a social media on Facebook. We actually have a retirement village that is interested in hosting us to come out, so we can provide meals for folks at the retirement village.
So that would be one meal, multiple meals? Do you
It could
have
be
the
if you want one
capability
meal
of
or
doing-
multiple meals. I mean, our goal is to actually not be a daily sit on the corner type hot dog stand. Our goal is to actually go out, say, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it could be, you could be set up on a weekly basis, and we would deliver meals to seniors during the day. Now, in the evening, we would find a strategic location so people could stop by on their way home and pick up a meal. And we're going to introduce a cycle menu, which is about a 4 or 5 week cycle menu, which will have 3 to 4 different items, and it's going to rotate according to the season and the availability of our ingredients.
What do you charge for a meal plan?
So it's individual right now, and our price point is about $8.
So $8 a meal.
$8 a meal, yes.
And what are your costs on
Well,
a
it depends
typical
with the
meal?
protein, but $1.75 to $2.20.
So they all come like in a serving like this, or say I have a family of 4?
What's that?
Say I have a family of 4, does it come, do you give us a package of meat? Do you give us?
Right, we'll give you
I'm
a
just looking
package.
for options
They're
here.
all individually packaged. So it'll be like a 3-compartment serving tray with sealed, and you can actually, just pull 1 out, you can pull 3 out, you can pull 4 out.
Okay.
Do you have a commercial kitchen, or does the truck qualify?
Okay, so the truck, officially yesterday, does qualify. But
got our commercial license.
But I am backed up by a commissary right here in Westminster, the great Carroll County Courthouse. Eventually, what I envision is having a production kitchen. Right now, I can produce 50, 60 meals a day. I would love to do it on a bigger scale, of course. So, we're looking, there's plenty of vacant buildings here. I would love to open a nice big kitchen and have multiple trucks.
I was just gonna, it seems as though you've got like multiple delivery methods of the same product, but it gets complicated to scale if you have a food truck operation and a food delivery and then potentially pick up food. What would you see as, after the food truck, your next priority?
To actually set 2 days aside to actually go out and deliver meals and market to seniors.
Okay.
That's
Right.
my heart. That's what I've been doing for the last 22 years. So I feel like that's a big need.
Since we both have worked in healthcare, we know a lot of social workers, and they know that there is a need for seniors living alone or living with their spouse and really can't prepare meals. And as a dietitian, I can tell you that Meals on Wheels that's available isn't always the healthiest option. We can provide low sodium diets for them as needed. We can provide diabetic diets for them. We can provide even consistency modified diets for them, such as puree diets for seniors.
We actually have done a test market in seniors with the program that I did, Food with Thought. And it was a demonstration where we had a community of about 150. I had about 35 participants out of the 150 that would participate weekly and take meals home.
So with what you're doing now, are you guys both doing this full-time?
I'm doing it full time.
You're doing it full-time?
Yes. And then this is my consultant dietitian to keep me straight on my menu.
I just help them on the menus.
Do you know or have a strategy to get to where you want to go, where you're both doing this full-time?
Yes, it would be great. We love working together.
Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Well, I mean, you know, this is a couple years out to the whole concept. Like I said, we want to start out slow and start with the meals, you know. And in the evening, like I said, it's another where we go back to the commissary and then we'd set up for commuters coming on the way home.
So, do you know how many meals you can create in your truck to be, you know, to make it profitable? And then my other question is there a limitation that the county or the state places on you as to how many meals you can serve out of a vehicle?
Well, yeah, so one of the requirements, you know, you have to have enough refrigeration, which I'm going to actually get a freezer put in the truck as well, so I actually can cook and chill. Right now, I can do 500 meals in my truck, packed to the rim, wherever I go. After that, I'm having to send people to the store. Thank you, friends.
Yeah.
I had a question for the seniors in place, sort of going back to what you want to do next. How do you anticipate reaching them to let them know?
Was that me? Was that me?
That was very dramatic. How do you anticipate reaching them? Because they're not likely to be on social media.
That's a good question. So we can, again, reach out to our social worker friends, go to the senior centers, there are lots of them around Carroll County, perhaps do some cooking demos to them, perhaps go to the library, do some cooking demos, and, you know, give them a little education about what we already have people that are interested in doing it. We just need the marketing, we just need the money.
Steve, did you see the same one I saw?
Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to say congratulations to everyone that entered this year's Carroll Biz Challenge. And we're so excited to be part of it again this year. The good news is over 50% of the entrants are actually Miller clients, which obviously makes me very proud. And not only that, 2 of the finalists so far we've helped coach for their final pitch. So congratulations to everyone, and let the competition begin. And one more thing, I want to do a Miller pitch. We now have our fall lineup for our classes and workshops. They're going to be interactive. You're going to love them. So please go to millersmallbusiness.com, click on courses, and you'll see all the new stuff we have for this fall. And please, please sign up for these classes. You're going to need them, you're going to use them, and they're going to be awesome. So thank you very much, and once again, let the competition begin.
Let's give Miller a round of applause.
All right, Steve, wonder if you saw the same one I saw. This is a good one. Joey Chestnut. Thanks a lot, Carroll Biz Challenge. Now I'm hungry. Those all good food truck guys got hot dogs. You might need 500 meals right there. Well, believe it or not, we are already at pitch number 5, our 5th and final contestant. So let's welcome Brewery Fire, Jesse Johnson and Dave Palmer, to the stage.
Hello, everyone. We are Brewery Fire. We make beer. Good night. All right, I kid. This is my business partner, Jesse. Jesse is not as tall as he appears. He's actually two very small people standing on top of one another. However, the effort it takes for him to achieve this makes him about as fast as a three-toed sloth.
And this is my business partner, David Palmer. He's been in Carroll County for 10 years now. And pretty soon you guys are going to find out that he loves to talk. I do. He has an ego like a hot air balloon. It's big, it's colorful, and it's full of hot air. And together we are Brewery Fire. And Brewery Fire is a 3-barrel microbrewery with a tasting room. We are going to focus on the visitor's experience, collaborations, and then sustainable partnerships.
Now, if you've been paying attention, craft beer has been blowing up all around Carroll County. This list that's popping up behind me isn't comprehensive. This is less than half of the breweries that touch Carroll County. There's more than 50. We have seen 3 breweries in Carroll, and there hasn't been one opening for 8 years, which is represented on this map, or as Jesse and I have come to call it, the beer donut. And we in Carroll County live in the donut hole. And it's not a good donut hole. It's not a pastry. You can't eat it.
It's a sad one because there is no donut.
None. However, what if we made it a jelly donut?
We want to be your jelly. Breweries have a huge economic impact right now. Not only is beer tourism an industry that brings people from the outside in, people come for not just the beer, but also for experiences like beer and goat yoga.
That's a real thing.
We're going to work with local agriculture because we want local grains, hops, and adjuncts for our beer. We want to work with restaurants. We want food trucks. We want restaurants, collaborations, vineyards, distilleries, other breweries, and then also sustainability. Right now, we're going to go through about 300 to 500 pounds of grain per week. And the spent grain that we're going to have has a lot of nutrition in it, and we're going to give it to local farmers to feed their cattle.
Yep. And speaking of economics, obviously the big question from the judges is, hey guys, is this profitable? Well, about 40% of every beer we sell goes to overhead. The next 30% is going to be staffing. That leaves 30% for profit, reinvesting, and growth. You can see we've got our 5-year projection as well as a deep dive into where these numbers came from. We didn't pull these out of thin air. These are actual sales figures from nearby breweries that were kind enough to share with us. The industry. Yes, exactly. Craft beer makes up about 12% of all beer sold in the US, and that experienced a 6% growth in 2016. In Maryland, that accounts for over $630 million of economic impact, 6,500 jobs, and nearly 9 million gallons of beer sold.
Right.
We need less than 0.1% of that Maryland market to be a profitable business that will grow in 3 to 5 years.
And why do we need this money? Right now, we're the only business on stage right now that hasn't launched yet. We need this money just for the initial startup cost. It's going to be huge to help us. And all joking aside, as much as we would love to Scrooge McDuck in all of this money, we're not gonna. We're gonna take the $5,000 and buy a crowler system. And what this does, it allows the consumer to come into our brewery, get a 32-ounce pour of beer in a can to go. That's good to 4 to 6 weeks. And the reason we want to put this money towards that is because we feel it's symbolic of the Biz Challenge. It's a product that's made here in Carroll County and can literally go throughout the world.
Now, obviously, the burning question here is, where are you guys? We haven't opened yet, but these drawings are based on an actual property in Tawnytown, Maryland, and we'll be signing a lease on that property very soon. Thank you. In the meantime, we've been doing Brewers Association of Maryland events and have served thousands of customers our beers, some of whom were kind enough to review us on Untappd. You beer drinkers will know what that is. And when you compare us to the big boys in town, we're doing just fine.
Yep.
Lastly, from the audience, hey jerks, where's our free beer? We would have loved to have provided all of you with a sample, but Chamber President Mike McMullen, that Mike McMullen sitting right there, was worried that would skew the audience a little too far in our favor. Boo. Boo. So, in the interest of fairness, if you want a free beer, we have coupons. Come find us. Win, lose, doesn't matter. Free beer's on us.
Yep, come find us afterwards.
Thank you, Corey Fire. Minor but important note before their time starts and the judge will read our question. And when the lights are on and I can't see anybody out there, Jason can't see anybody out there, those flights came up and somebody said, beer. And I swear to you it was Denise Beaver. I know it was. She's over there somewhere. I know it was. Tell me I'm wrong. She's out there somewhere.
Tell me.
All right.
Denise.
All right. So,
I think this is a good question about their types of beers and stuff.
yeah, which one? Go ahead.
This one right here.
Okay. All right. Here's the question. Have your beers been taste tested, rated, and are they consistent in terms of ingredient source, IBU, etc.?
Yes.
See the previous slide from Untapped? Yes, we've had our beers in front of thousands of people, lots of great reviews. We have all of our IBUs. We can even pull up calories if you care.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got all that data.
Yep.
We don't care about the calories too much.
What kinds of beers? I think that's another part of the question.
Gosh, we've got over 20.
Yeah, 20 beers unique to us right now. We have IPAs, we have things like barley wines, we have pale ales, cream ales,
stouts, sours,
everything just about, even lagers.
What are we drinking here?
You got a list.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have today you have a sour, you have our flagship IPA, a pipe smoked stout, and a Belgian quad.
Cool.
So
Aren't you all jealous?
Start from light to dark.
Obviously, you guys are entering into an increasingly crowded market, and some would say maybe getting oversaturated market. Do you guys have a competitive advantage in your minds? I understand you're not up and running yet. What is it, and what is your marketing strategy to put you ahead?
Well, the beer donut, if you look at the state of Maryland, there's like a ton of amazing breweries all around us. But I mean, in Carroll County, we have Johansson's, we have Pub Dog, and we have Ruhlman Brothers. So we would be the fourth, and so.
Yeah, and from the location we picked, you throw a dart in 30 miles any direction, no brewery.
Yep. And it's a great community because everybody works together in the industry. They do collaborations, and it's just an amazing community to be a part of, really.
So is your brewery going to be beer, food, beer, pretzels?
So it's we're just going to make beer. The property that we've picked is actually a well-known bowling establishment in Taneytown. And those folks have their own kitchen, and they have kindly talked with us about opening up a walkway between our businesses so people can buy food at their kitchen, as well as doing rotating food truck lineup.
Once again, Taneytown, you're killing it.
Yeah.
What's your background in brewing?
I've been brewing for probably 6 or 7 years now, just, home brew, and then David.
Yeah, about a decade. And we got a one-barrel system about 3 years ago, and we've been brewing for non-industry people, that's 30 gallons. We do, roughly 30 gallons, 25 at a time, and probably brew every few weeks.
Do you have your state and federal licenses?
That's all tied to property. And since we haven't signed a lease yet, we are going to have a roughly 4 to 6 month ramp up time for getting licensed.
Have you, what is your relationship in working with different state agencies that are out there? I know you're very well versed in that, so.
Well, we have,
how's that working for you?
Well, it's working. We have the Brewers Association of Maryland, they're an advocacy group for us. So, all right. So we pay them a yearly fee, basically, and they're a huge advocate for us at every level of the process. And so, they're literally holding our hands through the whole thing and giving us the guidance we need.
And as Jesse mentioned, it's a very collaborative industry. So, I mean, we visit a couple breweries every month, and most of those guys talk their process through with us, their struggles, their hardships, give us advice for free. I mean, it's not competitive the way most industries are. We're all together competing against big beer.
Yep, and like George at Pub Dog right in New Windsor, I mean, he just opened the tasting room this year, and I mean, he's been amazing in just telling us what steps to take and, who to talk to and things of that nature.
Is there a brewery that you're sort of modeling your business after?
Probably Old Mother in Frederick is the closest.
Yeah.
They opened at about the same scale we were planning to open, and they hit their 3-year anniversary and just opened up a brewery that's about 4 times the size of what they started at in 3 years. And Frederick is crowded with breweries, and they're doing great.
So from a business standpoint, and maybe I missed this because you distracted me with beer.
That was the plan.
So who's the business person behind this beer? And that's one of the concerns that. Don't jump right in there.
I would say Dave. Dave, like one of the great things about Dave is that if there's a question that he doesn't understand, he like dives in until he completely understands it. So he's kind of more aggressive than I am in terms of that. I'm the looks of the operation, obviously.
It's always an unfair distribution. He got the height and the looks, I got the brains and the brains?
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest challenge so far?
Up till now, finding a property that is correctly zoned. I'm sure Drew can speak to the zoning issues in Maryland for the alcohol industry. And it took us a while to find something that was a right fit for us that would allow brewing. And that we were just stubborn about not leaving Carroll. I mean, we could have opened 6 months ago in Baltimore County, Howard County, Frederick County if we wanted to, but we want to be here.
We love Carroll County.
And another question, the brewery in Frederick, sorry, I apologize, that I don't remember the name.
Old Mother.
Thank you. How many beers do they have?
He told us that since they've opened 3 years ago, they've had over 200 different beers on rotation.
Wow, okay. So is that seen as an advantage then to have that kind of selection?
Yeah, because beer is a tourism right now, and so people don't want to come and travel an hour and a half to try the same 8 beers that they did with the last visit. So you can take the same beer that people love and you can change hop additions, you can add different fruits or what have you to make it different. But yes.
Cool.
So you want to collaborate?
Yes. maybe you should try the stout.
Are you allowed?
Try the stout and imagine your port
So
and see what happens.
Where are you sourcing your grains and barley and all that great stuff?
Right now, since we're not a commercial enterprise, we are buying from Maryland Homebrew in Columbia for the most part. That's kind of the biggest place in Maryland that provides this sort of stuff. But there's wholesalers. We've also talked with local farms to grow us hops. We're also already getting our spent grain to cattle farms in the area. We're feeding the sheep with every brew batch that we make already. And obviously Ruhlman Brothers is a hop farm as well as a brewery, so that's another source for us locally.
I think there's a new hop farm called Big Truck in Baltimore County, and then there's also a commercial malt house on the Eastern Shore.
Something Star.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
So you should.
Man, that was one of the. I mean, these tweets have really been distracting me. I've really having a hard time keeping my focus. But that was honestly one of the best pitches one of the best I've ever seen. Anyway, that was fantastic.
They were all good. They were all good. I will say.
But like, even though it was so good, there's a tweet here that I think kind of summarizes maybe how some people are feeling. This is kind of a raw tweet that was just shared. Charlie Sheen, hey, hashtag Carroll Biz Challenge. Enough with that chit chat. Brewery Fire wins happy hour, right? Am I right? He's a little crazy. But all kidding aside, and the international attention we've been getting on the internet, I do want to congratulate each and every single finalist. Let's give them a huge round of applause.
I'd just like to add that the 7 years of this and the pleasure I have working with McDaniel in the Student Pitch Challenge and all the other pitch challenges I've been to, rarely do you see 5 pitches of that quality on the same stage at the same night.
Amen to that.
Really good job.
So, we're not quite to happy hour as Charlie Sheen would like, but we are at intermission, which is the good news here. And so we're going to take a break, but during break, you have a super important job. And I'm just talking about you out here in the crowd, the folks who are watching online, on live TV right now. It is time to vote. And I have to find the voting here. It's in like really dark green letters, so it's hard to read on the program. But what you're going to do is here are the codes that you need to text. And you're going to text into 650-600-9 9016. And you'll have through the duration of intermission. And again, you're voting for the People's Choice Award winner. You can vote for them because they're your friend, because you want their business to open in your neighborhood, or whatever the reason is. It's up to you to pick that award winner. So go vote and go enjoy some more amazing food from the Food Chick. Grab a cup of coffee from our friends at Furnace Hills Coffee Company, and we'll see you back here in 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Are we ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your intermission. A lot of drama in the back room, I'm come to understand. Choices have been made, votes have been cast, winners have been chosen.
And I know who won.
So, let's get right to it. Our first award this evening is the People's Choice Award. As has become tradition, we have a former winner of the People's Choice Award. Tonight, we're fortunate to have Mr. Derek Graves of Up Above Media, People's Choice winner of last year, who's going to help us announce the winner this evening. Derek.
Good evening, and again, thanks to Mike McMullen and the Chamber for putting on such a great event. We had an awesome time presenting last year, and we were so fortunate to have won the People's Choice Award. It did give us that extra little boost we needed at the time to help continue to grow our business. And for those of you that do not get chosen tonight, please don't give up hope. All you need is a little tiny bit, and it'll grow and grow and grow. Without further ado, the People's Choice Award winner this year, as voted by the audience, is Brewery Fire. Woo! Please join me up on stage, please.
That's a lot of middle. That's filling the donut hole.
Congratulations, Brewery Fire, People's Choice Award winner.
And now we've come to the grand prize winner announcement. And as is custom, to build suspense, we have chosen a passage from Shakespeare to read for encouragement of all. I'm just joking. No, we're going to get right to it. So, and to announce the grand prize, we can't do it without the godfather of the chamber, Mr. Mike McMullen.
Yay, Mike.
Handle this. Don't
You
boss
learn to
me
take
around. I'm
direction.
older than you are.
There's a
All right,
wonderful
before
vote of
we
confidence.
announce the winner, as is customary, I want to tell you my life story from the time I was born. No, there's one more sponsor that we need to thank. We missed them as we went through. We kind of skipped over because we were all excited. But these events absolutely, I guarantee you, don't happen without the money from the sponsors who believe in this. And we're really happy and proud that Ting is one of our actual local partners. So let's watch their video first.
Catch that train, 'cause it's moving on. Catch that train, 'cause it's moving on. Catch that train, 'cause it's moving on. And it might pass you by before too long. Get it now.
Crazy Fast Fiber Internet is here, built by Westminster and powered by Ting. See if the best internet is in your neighborhood at ting.com/Westminster.
Woo! Thank you, Ting. You know, I'm still waiting for my actual royalty check because I was in a commercial of theirs with my dog. I haven't got it yet. Val, if you're out there, I am waiting. All right, so the grand prize winner. Wow, this was a great year. As everybody said, and I've been here for this is number 7. Everybody pitched was great. Every business looks like it's going to be amazing. And there's no doubt but that every business that was up here, and probably many that applied that you haven't met, are going to do really, really well here in Carroll. But we do have a winner. Always has to be a winner. That doesn't mean that the others are losers, so please never feel that way if you're one of the 4 that's not going to get your name called. So without further ado, the grand prize goes, and for the second time in Biz Challenge history, the audience choice winner was also picked by the judges. Brewery Fire! Woo!
We need a speech. I need a speech. Let's get a speech. Speech.
We're going to have a speech from them, and I appreciate them. They helped to Photoshop me 50 pounds lighter by holding this across my gut. So let's hear from our winners. Give them another round of applause.
So a thank you speech with 2 people is always awkward, so pardon the back and forth. We flipped a coin. I go first. Holly, my beautiful wife, thank you so much for supporting my dream of opening a business, for taking on extra time with the kids while I can't be there, for being so supportive and wonderful through this whole process. I love you. Thank you.
The same for me. My wife, Kimberly, from day one, she said, do it. So I knew I had her approval. I really knew there was nothing that could really stop us because she's a pretty tough gal. And so I really appreciate that, and it's meant the world to me, her support.
All right, sorry, back and forth. Thank you, Jesse. A good idea is only possible with the right team. I never could have done this by myself, and having a partner I trust and can rely on is the only reason that we made it on stage today, and it's the only reason we're going to succeed in the future, so thank you.
And same for Dave. Dave calls me the mad scientist, but he's a guy that makes everything a reality. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He doesn't give up, and times where I'm not feeling the best, he picks up the slack and motivates me. So, I couldn't have done without him either.
So we were super smart and left our thank you list backstage. So if you got omitted from what's coming next, we apologize. But first and foremost, the Mike McMullen and the Chamber of Commerce, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's an amazing event, and we had a ton of fun, and we're just so honored for this.
We'd like to thank our realtor, Steve. He's somewhere in here. I can't see anything. We'd like to thank Rick from Startup Portal. He's here somewhere too. He helped us with our business plan. Adam and Robin Hoke, because they got us connected with everybody. That's really made everything happen.
Thanks to the judges. I'm sure there were a lot of tough moments there in that room. Everyone on stage today was amazing. We were sweating bullets the whole time because we had to go last and see all these amazing businesses pitch before us. So thank you for believing in us. That's awesome. Thank you. All the breweries that have supported us while we've been starting up, Something Wicked, Attaboy, 1812, Kushwa, Old Mother, Pub Dog. This industry is amazingly collaborative, and we wouldn't be here without their help.
And thank you all for voting for us for the People's Choice.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. That was awesome. Yeah, as I said, I do have those coupons. Find us, free beer.
Congrats, guys. My goodness, John, another year in the books, another doubleheader winner. I love that.
Yeah.
Having somebody clean house. It's a banner year. And the Twitter has still been active and live. And
usually, once it goes that viral, there's about a 4-day lag before the hashtag slows down. So
yeah, a lot of velocity on this one. But
yeah, and as soon as the Asian markets open up, it'll start again over there.
Look out for that.
Yeah, so that's coming too. So, what else? Our pleasure. I can say that for myself, I'm humbled and honored to be asked to participate in this. Thank you to the Chamber. Thank you to Mike McMullen. I have so much fun up here doing this. I think I can speak for my partner too. It's been a great 7th Carroll Biz Challenge. One more round of applause for the judges, the finalists, and yourselves.
And also want to give a special shout out. We're here in Carroll Arts Center, which is one of Carroll's great treasures. They host events like this all the time. We love them. Thank you for hosting. And also, I mentioned the Community Media Center of Carroll County earlier. They are an incredible resource for this community. They have filmed this event every single year. They put it on their channel 19 and whatever other cable channel they run locally, and have an incredible team that publicizes and showcases like some awesome stuff that's happening in Carroll. So let's give them a big round of applause for filming tonight.
All right. Keep an eye out, mark your calendars. Mark my words, buy your tickets early for the 8th annual Carroll Biz Challenge because people will be selling them out front. You might find yourself on StubHub looking for a seat in here next year.
And lastly, for those, this event, again, to go back to where we began, this whole event exists to celebrate and showcase the amazing entrepreneurs that we have here in our community. And a lot of times I've seen this event, a lot of times someone's business dream begins because they submitted their first application to this particular competition. We've had 35 finalists, over 175 entrepreneurs have entered this event over the years. And so encourage your friends who have had that idea, that dream that they've been thinking about, kind of sort of maybe wanting to do one day, and tell them to get off their butt and get that application in next year, because that could be the very beginning of really, truly making their business dreams come true. With that, I just want to thank you guys one more time for coming out tonight. For those of you who are interested in the after party, we never really publicized this early, but I'm going to anyway. People hang out at O'Lorden's after this event. You feel free to visit any other establishment.
Jason, we got to do photos. They're all going to get there first.
That's exactly.
Where are we going to sit?
I'm racing there. I'm skipping photos. But I do want to give one other special shout out. Tonight was a huge night for Tawnytown. Let's give Tawnytown a round of applause. And so if Porky Pig had a Twitter account.
Yeah, it's here.
It is here.
It came through. The last tweet of the night.
Unbelievable. I got to check. I missed that one. What does it say, John? Help me out.
Porky Pig says, "That's all, folks."
# Carroll Biz Challenge. Good night, y'all.
Good night.